Nothing feels better than this. Nothing feels better. Nothing feels better than this. Nothing feels better. I'm not.
I didn't want this to be the first video on my channel, and I honestly just want to say this. I am really tired of lies being spread about me and things getting misconstrued and a lot of this stuff getting thrown around and just flat out being lied about. So I'm here to tell you about the situation that you know if you know me, and the person you know if you know me. So basically, if you know me, you probably already heard about this, and so yeah, this is what this video is going to be about. This is my first video, and I hate this being my first video. Like, this is just awful. I wish things were different, and I wish I didn't even have to make this video, because I have to. Now, I'm just going to say this. If you are this person, congratulations, you're watching this video. God, I feel like Hannah Baker from 13 Reasons Why when she's like, welcome to your tape. This is not really a bashing someone. This is just saying my truth, and I think the truth needs to be heard, because some people know the truth, some people don't, and I think that it's best to let it be there, let it be in the open, and let it be said. So to start this off, I had separated from the father of my child, and basically we both ended our relationship. Now, it didn't start off as a breakup, it started off as a break, where I wanted it because we were arguing and he was treating me badly and being very selfish, and I was just over it, and I thought that maybe talking to him about it and having this break and spending some time apart, because we spent every day together, this was my best friend, would help, and it didn't. Now, I had told him about the break, and at first he did not want to be on this break, and I just thought that it would be a good idea because we would be able to, you know, work on ourselves and get ourselves fixed and figure things out and maybe talk things through in the future, which wouldn't have been a long time. So he then had left to go get our daughter, who you can hear talking in the background, a baby banana, which is like this teething thing. I think I have it somewhere around here, but to get it for her so that since she started teething at a young age, and this was when she was about 4 months, so this was a while ago, and he basically went to go get it and was gone for hours. I didn't know where he went, and I left him messages, and I was upset, distraught. I didn't want this break, and then he had came back, and all of a sudden was for this break. Well, basically, this break was going on, and he all of a sudden was not, like, upset about it. Like, he was just like, okay, it is what it is. So I was like, look, I don't think we should go on this break, and he avoided talking about it and was just being basically lovey and being sweet. And then, like, I noticed this kind of darkness. I didn't want to leave him. I just wanted us to take some time apart because we spent almost every day together, and I think that's what made us argue so much, you know. And you argue with people you love, and that happens. You're not gonna have a relationship without arguments. So when I decided to take this break and had talked to his aunt about it, it went into this whole huge situation where he was all of a sudden wanting this break, was treating me like we were together when we weren't. It eventually was like, okay, this is getting ridiculous, and I decided to block him because I didn't want to talk to him if we weren't together, and it was really breaking my heart. Like, I was really depressed and really upset about it, and, you know, he wasn't seeing me, he stopped talking to me, and he was hanging out with his friends more, which I honestly didn't mind, you know, him spending time with his friends. This is what the break was for. But apparently, which is what he's been telling everybody else about our separation, was that I was the one who wanted the break, which was true, but that he went to a McDonald's when his friends tried to cheer him up, and he met this girl and got her number and dumped me right after, and then started dating her and has been with her ever since. That's not true. That is a lie. He was talking to me and her at the same time for like a couple days before he officially dumped me. Like, he was telling her that he was going to be with her, and then was also telling me that he was going to be with me and that this break was going to end and that we were going to be together again, when in actuality he was talking to this girl and talking her up to a date. Before I knew it, I got dumped on a Friday, the day before he took her out on this date. Now, I didn't even know that he took her out on a date until long after he did. So, actually not really long after, a couple days. It felt long to me. But he had basically lied to his mother, said he was going to a movie when he was taking this girl out on this date. And I was furious when I had found out, because I had called him and he would not tell me he was with another girl. He refused to tell his mom that he was with this girl, that he was dating her, that he went on a date with her. And I was obviously didn't know, because he was telling me he was going to be with me, then dumps me out of nowhere. So I think you'd be asking questions too. So when one of his friends had told me, I was shocked. And now I didn't even bank on trying to find out where he was, but when I did, I was angry. And I was even more angry because he had been spreading stuff around school that I cheated on him, that I was tired of him, and that's why I dumped him, and even more. So after I'd found out that stuff, I knew there was a lot more that he was lying about, and I was just angry. So I found out who the girl was, and I eventually had messaged her and told her exactly what he was doing, even talked to her on the phone, and in the end, she was flat out ignorant and continued to talk to him and continued to mess with him, and still does to this day, because she's getting her head stuffed with lies, because that's what he does. So when I had decided to talk to her about it and basically say the truth and send screenshots, because I don't come for somebody unless I have my information. So when I had told her all this stuff, she was just completely oblivious, acted like she didn't know, and I really did think that she did. She seems about as fake as him. Well, eventually, he had been taking our daughter in and out of the house and seeing her. At that time, after the breakup, only a week or two after the breakup, he was actually spending time with her and taking her, and he wasn't even really taking care of her at all. There would be times she would come home and she wouldn't have a sleeper on to sleep in. So eventually she had came home, and I had found a bruise on her chest, which obviously struck me as concerned, and my mom was concerned, and I had called or texted his mother and said, look, there's a bruise on my daughter, and I don't know how it happened. And eventually, he didn't have his phone, because after that whole date thing, she had taken everything of his, because he went behind her back and took another girl on a date after just dumping me. So yeah, I think I would do the same. So when he had done that, he had called me from his school phone, because he basically got let out of school, I think, because of school shooting things, and he was going to go get his windshield fixed, and told me he was going to come see me and my daughter, and then stood me up. After standing me up, I didn't hear much after that, so he basically wanted to leave home, and then assaulted his mother, which I do have pictures of bruises, but I'm not going to put her body on this like that. But she basically got her own son had put his hands on her and left bruises on her, and all while his friends were watching and laughing. And he had left in his getaway car with his buddies and tried calling me after that. And I was so angry because his mom had called me and was heartbroken and upset. And it was so disgusting for him to even try and talk to me and explain the reasons why he did it, because there was no reason for that. None at all. And if you beat women, you're a pussy. So let's go ahead and talk about that for a second, because that was where I drew the line. And I honestly didn't want him seeing his daughter. But I was not going to keep him from her at all. I'm not that kind of person, and I never am going to be that kind of person. So to people who think that I'm keeping him from his daughter, I am not. That's a lie. So after that, his friend basically was controlling his life, had his phone, had everything, was calling people, was doing this and that, and it was a whole big fiasco. And he was not talking to anybody, and he was just going and seeing this girl and doing all this bull crap. And basically refused to talk to me about his daughter, hadn't talked to me about his daughter, and he did that for about a month or so before he was finally trying to contact me. I had found a message where he had sent a request and basically was asking to have his friend drive him to my house. And around the time I got to contact him, he was getting kicked out of his friend's house and had no place to live, which I was upset, but I wasn't, because he deserved it after what he did to his mom and after what he did to me and to his daughter. Oh yeah, he deserved that. Because guess what? You don't treat people like shit and live some kind of great life. Stuff is going to come back to bite you in the ass, and when it does, don't be afraid. So when that had all went down, he was trying to talk to me and be sweet and do all this stuff, and was trying to FaceTime his daughter, which was his excuse at 3, 4 in the morning, trying to talk to his daughter, which was insane, by the way, because she was obviously asleep. And I was just nope, not doing it. I was not in the mood to talk to him, because I know that I would fall for whatever bullshit he would feed me. Which eventually I did, because he had came over after I got off work. He was there wanting to talk to me. We talked. He kissed me, told me he loved me while he was still talking to this girl. and was basically telling me that he wanted to be with me, that he always loved me, that all this thing, he would miss me so much, he wanted to talk to me. Like, basically just flat out said, oh, I thought being in a new relationship would help me, but it didn't, and I just want to be with you, and everything else, and was just feeding my head with, I love you, I want to be with you, but yet still trying to hold on to the girl that he was talking to that he had literally just met and apparently hadn't kissed. It's not my business what they did when they're together, but at the same time, I felt like there was a lot more than them just talking for him to all of a sudden really be all up on her, because I've never in my life, like, he wasn't even loyal to me 3 months into our relationship, and we were doing pretty much everything. So let me tell you, he would not be loyal to this girl unless she did something that he really liked, which obviously was something physical. So I highly doubt that they just kissed, because he continued to even tell me that after the fact. He tried to downgrade the relationship in front of me all the time. Like, he's like, oh, you can still talk to me, I'm not gonna post her. Oh, me and her, you don't understand us, like, I haven't met her mom, me and her are not that serious, and all kinds of stuff, just downplaying the relationship to make it seem like they weren't really anything serious, but deep down I knew he was lying, and he just wanted me to know that he wasn't anything serious with anybody else. So eventually me and him had gotten back together, and we were dating again, and it was just the worst. It was cold and just not the same. It wasn't normal. It wasn't like me and him were together like that anymore. And it was like, are you just serious? Like, it wasn't the same. He didn't seem like he gave a crap about me. Like, he would, when he came over, he would be so sweet and kind, but after, I would text him and talk to him, and he was just not himself. He was not the person I loved. He was not the person I knew. And he can go ahead and say that he was, but he wasn't. He's a whole different person. And he flat out told me that no matter who I'm with, my body would always be his. So if that tells you what kind of person he is just awful. He was just a monster. I had such bad anxiety that I literally couldn't eat. Like, I had no appetite. I would literally eat at night when he wasn't talking to me anymore, because I had constant anxiety that he was going to leave me and hurt me and just cheat on me again. Because if you don't know, he cheated on me at least 3 times before, and that's why I had such trust issues, because he tried to blame it all on me and say he didn't know why I was acting like that, why I was doing all these kinds of things that made me seem crazy, like I wanted to know what he was doing 24/7, that I wouldn't let him go anywhere without me knowing, and blah blah blah. And that was not the case. I just didn't want him talking to girls. I didn't want him, getting up in girls' business and doing all this and that. And that's it. I never controlled his life like he's saying I would. Like, sure, I had my moments where I was like, who are you talking to? Like, because you can't trust him. There's no trust there. Like, literally, he will cheat whatever chance he gets. It's a very short time that he'll be loyal, because he's just that kind of guy. He will do anything to make you forgive him. He will lie. He will say whatever you want to hear until you forgive him, because you're what he wants right now. Like, you're not what he wants all the time. Now, I basically acted like that because he cheated on me. Now, moving on from that, that's one of his lies, is that he's making me seem crazy. And then, pretty much after that whole fiasco with the whole, me being with him, I had separated from him for a while. Now, I decided that I was like, I don't want to be with you, because he became to the point where he was a cold, heartless monster, and I was done. I was crying almost every night, and I was over it. I had so much love and dedication to this person, and for them to throw me in the trash like that, yeah, I was over it. I didn't care how much pain I would be in, but I was done. And I think that if you're in this situation, if you have someone who's basically treating you like crap, leave them. You don't deserve them. They don't deserve you. You need to step up and leave. Because if you don't now, you never will. Because love is not hurting people. Love is caring and never leaving people and cheating on them and doing all that. So after that, he was incredibly rude to me. He was supposed to get his daughter's diapers, and he didn't. He went bowling instead, cosmic bowling, and then tried to lie to me and say he wasn't there with a certain person. Then he was, and it was that girl, which she tried to clear that up, which I'm guessing it was another girl because she was at work. So, guess it was another girl then. But that just proves to you that he didn't care about his daughter. And then his friend tried messaging me and telling me to be mature, and that I told him no when he tried to come over and bring stuff in the morning, which no, he was just trying to come over to my house and act like nothing happened. To act like he wasn't talking to this girl again, that me and him were going to be Gucci. Yeah, that was not going to happen, nor will it ever happen unless he grows a pair of balls and actually talks to me and is going to be mature and respectful, because there's a lot more stuff than this that happened, which I'm about to get into, because it just gets worse. It honestly just gets worse at this point. So after that, basically we stopped talking, and we stopped talking for a couple months. So then I decided to message him again and talk to him, and that time he was civil. He was talking to me like a normal person, and then my mom was like, "You're not talking to him, you're gonna stop this," and that's where that ended. So then eventually I reached out to him again without my parents' permission, and I talked to him about being co-parents and working on being parents for her and him seeing her, which he had told me he had cried about not seeing her and that all this stuff. But when I was talking to him, he was incredibly rude to me. He was rubbing the relationship between him and this girl in my face. He didn't even ask her out to be his girlfriend until the day I literally messaged him, and I'm not joking. I have timestamps. So I was seriously just I don't even know. I was just like, what the heck? Why is this even happening? He was rude to me for no reason at all. At some points, yes, I had said something about his girlfriend. I'm going to be honest with you about that. But there was times that I wasn't even doing anything. I was telling him about his daughter. I was letting him be a father to his daughter. And he was being incredibly rude to me. And eventually, I was like, what the heck? So, next thing I know, I get a phone call from him, and he's telling me he's going to hit me, that I should kill myself, that he hates me, that if I died he wouldn't care, and so much more, calling me a cunt and a bitch, and my brother was right there to witness all of that. And it was literally out of nowhere, for no reason at all, he called me and was bashing me. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on? And I have proof of all of this stuff. I will put screenshots up. I will do a whole video where I show screenshots. I will honestly put screenshots up right now, if you want me to. But I flat out was just disgusted. And eventually after that, we stopped talking again. Ever since then, it's been 2 months since I've last had any contact with him. And he has been flat out rude to me. He has not replied to me. He has blocked me, changed his number, and done everything. Even when I haven't said anything hateful to him, malicious. All of the emails, the text messages, the calls I've sent him were kind and appropriate. And they were all about our daughter. None of them were about me and him. None of them were about his girlfriend. She's honestly irrelevant in this. She doesn't matter. She doesn't care if he sees his kid, so she's not important to me. She's not anything in this equation. So I'm just really disgusted and over this. This is to the point of exhaustion, and him acting rude and immature and trying to blame everything on me is getting tiring, and then lying to people about me is getting tiring as well. So if you are watching this video, reach out to me, because you don't have the balls to, obviously, and if you want to do it, do it. If you want to see your daughter, then reach out to me. Because if you're telling people that you want to be in her life, then reach out to me. Talk to me so we can figure this out, so that we can be on good terms, so that this stuff doesn't continue to happen and we can be all peaceful and happy and live in a good land, okay? That's all I want, because my daughter deserves a father. She deserves more than this, and he knows that. I know that. And I just find this just ridiculous. And the person that I love, the person I knew, is gone. He was a good person, and I mourn that person every day, but the person he is now, I don't mourn, because he doesn't deserve to be mourned. That's just how it is. So if you want to go ahead and try to tell me I'm lying about any of this stuff, don't even bother, because I'm not. You can understand that I just want a father for my daughter, and that's all I've ever really wanted, and she deserves that. And I just wish that things were different. I wish things would work out, and that we could all be happy, we could all be in a good place, because I think that this is just ridiculous. And I know that maybe he just wants to hurt me, but I don't deserve to be hurt. All I did was love him. All I did was be with him and even give birth to his child. So there's nothing that I did wrong in this. Yeah, I said some things about his girlfriend, but I stopped. And at this point, I don't even care about her. So if you guys want to go ahead and say something, say it in the comments. But at this point, this is my truth. So thanks for watching and listening to this. I really appreciate it. So go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and I'll post makeup tutorials and something more lighter than this.